Oh, hello, this is Joe from Nerd in Korea. We are continuing our budget series with budget artifact creatures now. There's some good ones in here. I think only one that you probably have heard of before, but not as a budget. At least not what I consider budget. Again, what I consider budget, $2 and under. Okay, $2 and under. If it's over $2, people are talking about like $8 budget cards. Like, yeah, nah, buddy. Go to Burger King or something. I don't know. Zenith Chronicler. So this is my actually top pick for a budget card. I think this is amazing. It is one of those cards that you can abuse, but anyway. First of all, it is 15 cents. I changed the text on that. Anyway, okay. Whenever a player casts their first multicolored spell each turn, each other player draws a card. So you're potentially helping other people with this card, which a lot of people look at and go, oh, well, I don't want to do that. But ideally, you're playing a monocolored deck, right? So I'm building a mono black deck right now. I'm going to put this in for sure, right? I'm drawing cards, everyone else. They'll get to draw some cards. I won't give them any card draw triggers though, right? And even, it's not that hard to throw in a Sholdred or something, right? If you have a Sholdred, they're drawing cards, they're taking damage, and you're healing every time. So that can help you a lot more as well. So again, in the right deck, this is absolutely amazing. I love this card. Very undervalued, I think. 15 cents is too low for something like this. Bronze Walrus at $1.99, so just barely budget by our scale. Tap to add 1 mana of any color, so basically it's a mana dork that can create any mana color, which is great. Also, ETB, enter the battlefield effect, scry 2. So you're getting a mana dork that also comes in and will help you set up for your next turn, and maybe even get your game going. Really, Scry 2 is so good because, whatever you need, you can make sure you're getting on the next card draw. You know, whatever you need is the next step in your plan. Even if things are going well, they can always go better. If you're missing a land drop or something, you can try to make sure you get it. It's just a fantastic card. So yeah, this is all about setting up your next turn or getting your game going, or it's going to fix problems or improve your game if your game is going well. A lot of cards are good in one particular situation or another. I feel like this is good no matter what. So well worth the $1.99, I'd say. Next up, we have Baleful Sket. This is the card that I think everyone has already seen and is familiar with, but it is only 74 cents now. It was over $3 at one point, so anyway. For 2 mana, it's a 1/1, so that sounds not good, but it has flying and death touch. Okay, so any combination of another ability with flying, with death touch, I'm already oh, okay, well, here we go. This is really, if it can get blocked, this will block it, and then, yeah, you're all set. Death touch is just gonna a lot of times it doesn't trigger a lot, but a 1/1 death touch is gonna prevent so many people from attacking you, right? You don't see it really working on the battlefield. It works, in discouraging people. Prevents you from even having to do anything on the battlefield. And its ETB is draw a card, so it's a card that replaces itself and it prevents people from attacking you. Just crazy, crazy good. 74 cents. I'm actually going to order some of these today, I think. Because that's crazy. Ethereum Spinner. Okay. There's a few different Ethereum cards. I keep getting confused. But anyway, whenever you cast a spell with mana value 4 or greater, so that is pricey to create a 1/1 flying Thropter token. higher casting cost decks like this, again, if you've got something like a Cascade deck, right? I have a Cascade deck, and it has a lot of, especially, like 6 mana, you can get it to have Cascade if it has 6 or more mana. So you're going to be casting a lot of those. And the 1/1 flyers don't sound great, but it is, it's just a blocker. You want it mostly just like a blocker. Also, they're artifacts. So if you have something that cares about the number of artifacts, like if you get +1/+1 to damage, or even +1 +1/+1 to your creature, or +1 to damage, then it's fantastic. This is for 5 cents. 5 cents, like, I think it is probably the most narrow in usefulness, but I haven't put it into my Cascade deck yet, but it's in my pile to go in, and I'm surprised I haven't done it yet. So yeah, 5 cents, well worth it. Foreboding Statue is up next. So tap to create 1 color of any mana. So we got another kind of mana dork here that can make any color of mana. Always very good. And at the beginning of your end step, if there are 3 or more, make 1 mana and you put an omen counter on it. So you get 2. If there are 3 or more omen counters on Foreboding Statue, then transform it. So let's see. This transforms into a 5/5 that just automatically you don't have to tap it. It creates mana in your pre-combat main phase. I think your pre-combat main phase is when a lot of people use more mana anyway, so it's not a bad time for it. Remember, at the end of every phase, your mana in your mana pool disappears. So if you don't use this before your combat phase, it's gone. You cannot save this for your combat phase without something like Horizon Stone that lets you just keep mana and build it up and build it up. So this is a great combination with something with like Horizon Stone, but I would just try to use this in, your pre-combat main phase. Anyway, 4 cents. 4 cents for a mana dork that can create any mana and becomes a 5/5 that just like creates mana without even tapping. So I think that is actually quite good. Hope of Giper. Again, so this is a kind of a weird one. Someone suggested this to me on Facebook. I'm trying to remember names of people and I never do. I feel bad, but I'm terrible with names. Anyway. So this is a flying 1/1. Again, you think, okay, flying 1/1, but if it does combat damage, and it does have to be combat damage, not just any damage, you can't like sneak around on this, unfortunately. You can sacrifice it, and then that person can only cast creature spells until your next turn, right? So basically, if they've got like a Spellslinger deck or something like that, you've shut them down for a turn. This is great because, it does limit everyone's options, but with some decks, it just stops it. It's dead in its tracks. I would have some of these, even just to like, if your friend uses a lot of instants and sorceries or something like that, just cut them off. Even like if they're playing like maybe an enchantment deck. Enchantment creatures they still could cast, but enchantments. Kids are screaming outside again. Yay. But anyway. So this is a counter to a lot of decks. A lot of kind of decks. This will just shut them down. So this is a great thing to throw in or have on hand if you know who you're playing against or the deck you're playing against. This will get a lot of work done. And it's only 1 mana to cast it. That's crazy. Anyway, all right. 98 cents, well worth it, definitely. So we're getting into an interesting couple of ones here that also got recommended on the Facebook budget Facebook group, which you should join if you haven't. But anyway. Threefold Thunderhulk. for 7 colorless, it enters with 3+1/+1 counters on it. Okay, so it enters with +1/+1 counters, which a lot of decks can use, definitely. And when it enters, it creates a number of tokens, 1/1 gnome artifact tokens, equal to its power. Okay, equal to its power. So, as it's written on the card, that would be 3, right? It's making 3 token creatures, and every time it attacks, it'll make its power worth of token creatures. You can also pay 2 to sack an artifact and put a +1/+1 counter on this, which is, again, in some decks, being able to just generate those counters might be worth it on its own, but that is 15 cents. So this does a whole lot for 15 cents. I think this is actually maybe the best one on here. I can think of a deck I would use in right now. Kind of the deck I'm setting up for after my next deck, but anyway, or third deck. But yeah, I gotta stop trying to like count. Anyway, yeah, count decks. Graz Unstoppable Juggernaut. This is 8. So getting very pricey, but well worth the 8 mana. This costs 25 cents right now. So again, very, very, very budget. Juggernauts you control attack with, or each combat if possible. So you know what? Oh yeah. Juggernauts you control can't be blocked by walls. Okay. I'm actually building a wall deck right now, so that would be super annoying, but... Other creatures you control have base power and toughness 5/3. So all the creatures you control have base power 5/3. Again, they can get +1/+1 counters to increase that, but their base power is 5/3. I think most things are below 5/3. So if you have a deck where they're like 6/6s, don't put this in. Pretty much any other deck, this will do some serious work. And are Juggernauts in addition to their other creature types. So this makes them into Juggernauts, which means that they also get the other abilities here. Can attack each combat if able. You probably look at that and say, oh, that's a big downside. But if you're doing something like a Convoke deck, I have a Convoke deck, and I would definitely put this in. Again, if they're tapped, you have to tap them to use them as mana sources for Convoke. So if they're tapped, they can't attack, right? So basically just cast your Convoke spells and use them like that beforehand, and then send the rest in to attack. It's actually very beneficial. I think it's double useful. But also, the person who recommended this to me made a great point that with the Threefold Titan and this, if you have them both, they have quite the combo, right? It's not an infinite combo, it's just a combo. The Threefold Titan comes in and gets, 3+1/+1 counters, but if it is a 5/3 from this, well, it's coming as 8/6, right? It's an 8/6, and when it's an 8/6, it makes 8 of those gnome tokens instead of 3, and then those gnome tokens are all going to be 5/3s, right? So you've just created, I think he said it was like 46 power? I think 46 attack power you've done with like one spell. Yeah, so you've got 46 power on the board. That's a crazy combo. I think that's great. Anyway, this is definitely a card. I've already got it in my basket. I'm ordering it as soon as possible. I just think this is fantastic. It can combo with so many different things. Pretty much any token deck, I feel like, should have this. Because tokens, the only thing that holds them back usually is being small. Especially you got the 1/1 flying Thropter tokens. Oh my god. Flying 3/5 tokens all of a sudden that you can just throw around like you don't care. Oh boy. So much work. But anyway, that is the end. So thank you for watching and thank you for listening. So take it easy and have a good one. All right, bye-bye.